What's up, guys? It's Keith Kalfas live right now. I want to tell you a story. So, I'm getting my garage remodeled right now so I can turn it into a nice garage and also like a YouTube studio where I can review tools and make videos and host my Untrapped podcast. And I'm a landscaper, I'm a contractor, but I want a super cool garage. But I'm not too experienced with doing drywall and insulation. And even though I could do it myself, I'm smart enough to know that it'll probably take me longer than I think it's going to take me, and I'll run into headaches and stuff. And I would rather just go do a landscaping job and then hire somebody to remodel my garage. So I get on the phone, and now here's what this video is about. I get the experience of what it's like. You should try this sometime. What is it like to now for you to be the homeowner who's calling a contractor and getting quotes for people to come do a service on your property, right? It's flipping the script, because if you have your own service business and you're always serving customers and clients, and you can get a really good perception and a feel for things, but nothing is better for your learning than the pinnacle of experience of actually being in the shoes of the customer by being a customer to a contractor, right? So here's what happens. I get on the phone. I'm looking on Google, looking on Facebook Marketplace, even going on Craigslist, looking at newspaper ads, and trying different sources and calling different insulation companies to come out and give me, what is this? People are already giving me money? Thank you so much. I guess on this super chat thing you can give me money. Thanks, I appreciate it. It's awesome. But anyways, so I call up, I'm not even kidding you, about 10 different insulation companies, and I want to go with this stuff called spray closed cell foam injection. It has a very high R value, and it basically turns your structure into an igloo, and it's a very airtight seal, right? And then I want to drywall over it and have some, make it nice, because my garage is freezing in the winter and I want it to be a place where I can work here in Michigan. But anyways, I call 10 companies. I reach out, I email, I text, I call. None of these companies call me back out of 10. Now, I understand it's been a crazy year. I know what it's like to be in that position where customers are calling and you can't get back to people because you're just that busy, right? You don't have the capacity. But so I reach out, I call them all again, I go through, I follow up, no answer. I'm like, this is impossible. A third time, one company picks up the phone. One company picked up the phone out of the 10. It was this company called The Insulation Man, right? So I get a quote from them. They come out. They're the only person who even shows up to give me a quote. It's like $3,200. I'm like, I don't know what to go off of. Now remember, I'm giving you the perception through the eyes of a customer, just like your lawn and landscaping, your customers. So I'm like, 3,200, is that high? Is that low? I don't know. It seems kind of expensive to me just to get some insulation. So I'm crunching the numbers, doing the math, doing the research, watching videos on YouTube, going through this whole process. I'm like, well, I want to get at least 3 quotes is what they say. So I'm trying to get more quotes. I go through, I call back another 10 companies, some of the same companies. Nobody picks up the phone. Nobody even calls me back. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, these companies must be swamped, or they literally are just small businesses and they just can't handle it, right? Can you relate to that? So out of the 10 companies I call, guess what is the only company that actually picks up the phone or calls me back? The same company called The Insulation Man. I get on the phone with them. I say, can you believe that you're the only company? I've been trying this for 3 weeks. You're the only company that has even returned my call and given me a quote. So what do I say? I say, hey, I don't really care. I know they need to get paid. I'm like, can you come down on the price at all? It was just see if they could. They say, okay, we'll call you right back. They're like, we can take a couple $100 off. We can do it for $3,072, which actually saved me $125, right? So I said, all right, you know what? Let's just get it done. because I don't have the time as the customer to go searching for all these companies that aren't calling me back anyways. And if this company at least called me back and they have structure, they gave me a professional quote, they had, I'm like, all right, I don't have time to deal with this. So Monday they're coming. I'll do the quote. Now here we go. I'm excited. I'm getting my garage insulated. Now I need drywall. I start reaching out and calling drywall contractors. I'm going on Facebook Marketplace. I'm trying different people. I don't want the biggest, most expensive company because I'm just drywalling my garage. And I don't want the smallest, I don't want just a chuck in a truck, a guy who might, but I might hire a chuck in a truck. I might hire just a guy who does drywall, a little tiny, two-man crew company. I'm down for that all day, right? But here's the interesting thing. These companies that I'm calling up that are responding, yeah, I'll give you a quote for drywall. They're like, send me some pictures. So I'm going in my garage. I'm sending all the pictures to these guys. They're not getting back with me. Or they give me a quote. I got a couple quotes. One for $2,600, one for $2,700. One guy said $2,000. I'm like, $2,000? That sounds kind of low to drywall in my garage. What's going on? He's like, yeah, you have to get all the materials and I'll install it. I'm like, why would I want to go get all the materials? I could, but that's a red flag to me because I would rather pay you to get all the materials and do it all. So even if this guy is a professional drywall installer and he knows what he's doing and mudding and taping and all that stuff, it's a red flag to me that he wants me to get all the materials ready. Right, so I'm the customer, I'm perceiving all this. Now, here's the next thing. Another guy gives me a quote for drywall, and he never follows up with me, so I follow up with him. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I have some questions regarding the drywall. Here's what this video is about. I want to see if this guy's reputable. If I'm going to pay him $2,500 to $3,000 to drywall my garage, I want to see pictures of his previous work. I want to know if he does this every day for a living. Is he licensed and insured? I mean, as a homeowner, I'm kind of a rugged individualist. I'm licensed and insured. I have work comp. I have general liability. Do I care that much? To be honest, I don't really care if he's... I do care, but if he's a guy who knows what he's doing and he does it every single day, you might want to slap me for that, but on the wrist. But fine, I just want my garage done. I just want it done. So here's what I'm saying. One guy seems like a pretty legit guy and he's going to do a great job. I'm looking, I can't find anything on Google about this guy. I can't find a website. I don't see any pictures of any of the work he's done. He didn't send me a link to a website. His quote was via email, and there was no official quote with like links to the Facebook or anything where I could, get some credibility. I could get that warm fuzzy feeling that I know I'm dealing with a contractor who actually does this all the time. Why? Because I'm afraid that I'm going to pay somebody money. They're not going to show up. They might rip me off, or they might show up with the materials and then leave halfway through the job and drag me through a whole line of bull crap where now I'm like, I don't want stress. So I'm willing to pay more for somebody who, but here's what's really interesting. If any of these companies would have, picked up the phone, called me back, sent me official quote, sent me pictures or at least a website, a Facebook, of something that shows that they're a credible business, that's all I'm asking for. If I could see pictures of drywall that's before, during, and after, and see some positive reviews, and see something, I would be like, okay, I'm busy. I want to go with you. I don't care. Here's the next thing. $2,500, $3,000, I'd be willing to pay $3,200. I would probably even pay $3,500 because I know I ain't going to do the shit myself. I would be willing to pay more money to have somebody who I know for a fact that I only have to cry once by writing one check and knowing for a fact that the problem is going to be solved and this crew is going to take, pride in their work and do a phenomenal job. That's how I really actually feel when hiring these contractors now to do work at my house, because next we're going to get a granite countertops, right? And man, it's crazy. It's October. It's really hot out here. So how can you dramatically improve your clout, your perception to your customers, your credibility, and win more jobs at higher prices? It's by just creating little marketing systems that it's like you do the work once and it pays you over and over and over again. So it's a specific way that you pick up the phone every single time the customer or customers call. How do you communicate with them? Do you send them an official professional quote with links to your work and links to your website? Can they go and see YouTube videos or videos on your website? Or do you have a well-written and researched blog post article all about your business and professional work and before and after shots that you can just send in an email? Hey, click here to see some of our work. Click here to see that we have over 100 positive 5-star reviews on Google. We're fully licensed and insured. Because your customer wants you to be, they want you to be the guy. They want you to win. They don't have the time to go looking for other people. So if you just supply them with a few things that literally jumps you in front and up into the top 10% of contractors, what does that do? Well, you get more customers. They're willing to pay higher prices because they're busy. They don't have time to look. It saves you time doing a whole bunch of quotes and doing unnecessary work. And you could just close more jobs at higher prices because you're just positioning yourself as a more credible service-based business owner. That's what positioning is. You position yourself, and you create a perception in the customer's mind where you become the obvious choice. How do you create an environment for what you want to have happen automatically? You create that environment through positioning yourself in the eyes of the customer, through marketing literature, pictures, simple stuff that only takes a little bit of time. You can set up, if you don't have time now, set it up in the winter and then make it a new policy in your business. All right, that's it from now on. Every single customer we send a quote to, insurance is automatically getting attached to the quote and sent out in a PDF or attached inside of your CRM so they can see you're insured. If you're paying all this money for insurance, you might as well send a copy of the declaration page to every single customer so they can say, oh, wow, look, they're insured. They have it right here. Oh, here's a link to their website and their Google and all their positive reviews. Huh. You're creating results in advance for the customer by showing them, and it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And then a lot more times than not, the customers are going to call you back, email you back, and say, hey, we decided we want to go with you. We just finished a job that was $8,400 yesterday, and it was a job that I won specifically because of positioning and the way that I learned how to communicate with the clients. That when you're on the property with them and you're giving them a quote, you're the authority. They're looking to you for advice. My net on that job is, I got to look back. I haven't had time to look back, and I just got my P&L statement 2 days ago. But for that job, I know it was a 60% profit margin. I shoot for a 50% gross profit margin on everything. But this one I shot even higher. I wonder if I could do the math real quick. I'm not going to hold you guys up while I sit here and do it. I can say I netted 50% off of it. So I was supposed to net like 60%, but we had a hiccup. And here was the hiccup in the job, and I'm so glad that you brought that up. I was in the truck returning phone calls and doing paperwork, and I trusted my guys, which they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. But with the landscaping lights, I get out of the truck, and my one guy who works for me, he's very knowledgeable. He had put all the landscaping lights back into position on top of in the garden bed before we laid down all the decorative stone. I was so busy, which is an excuse, to not take a picture of the exact specific location of the landscaping lights while we rip out everything and we reinstall these garden beds. And the lights were placed in the wrong positions. So when we were done with the whole job and getting customer approval, my client comes out, beautiful, everything looked beautiful, and the client's like, my landscaping lights weren't like this, they were different. Then this one was over here and this one was over here and that one was over there, so they were off, right? That was my fault. We had to actually remove the landscaping lights and pull them like spaghetti strings from underneath the landscape decorative stone. And this is why specifically you should put landscape lights on top of weed barrier fabric. You don't bury them under, because if you have to make an adjustment or do maintenance, now they're buried underneath, 2 layers of materials, right? So we had to pull all the lights out and then put all the lights back in and rebury them in rocks. It took like 2 extra hours, which felt like 20 hours. It really, really sucked, and I was very frustrated, but learned a valuable lesson. No matter how busy you are or what happens, when it comes to the order and sequence of what you're doing on a landscape job, in the process, if you don't get that sequence right and you mix up the steps, if you do step 2 before step 3, you can cause something that's going to cause you a big headache. So I know that by doing this a lot of times and, having these little painful mistakes that cost you time and money, you get good, and then you don't make those mistakes again. That's how you can keep increasing the profit margin. All right, guys, that's what's up. I'm on Saturday Quotes right now. Thanks for hanging out with me. We've been on here 17 minutes. I'm going to my next quote. And, let me know in the comments below. I'm really excited about something specific. I did a video with Brian Fullerton, Brian's lawn maintenance. 2 videos with him specifically. It's getting a lot of questions in the comments, and it's specifically about installing landscaping garden beds and doing landscape makeovers and garden bed maintenance. This is an entire business in and of itself. It's something that I've gotten very good at over the years. We get a 50% profit margin. We do these jobs from anywhere $4,000 on the low end. It's hard to do one for only $4,000, but up to like 15 grand, we can rip out and reinstall landscape beds with new plants, new decorative stone, and there's all these things I've learned. And I was getting a lot of questions, and I was thinking, should I put together a little mini online course that literally dives deep into this, and it shows you exactly what to do, how to do it, walk you through it step by step, and how to actually price everything out and display it all to the customer so you can win these jobs and make money doing that. All right, I'm out of here. Let me know in the comments below if you'd be interested in that. And peace. Later, guys.